All right guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how in just a few steps you can develop a technically sound, professional looking forehand volley. So the first thing we got to do is get a good grip. Now for me, I use a continental grip pretty close to how I serve. That puts my hand right on top of the racket. A lot of great volleyers will use a slight Eastern forehand grip to hit a forehand volley. I have no problems with that. That might help you to get into a good position at the point of contact and really feel like your hand is behind the shot. Now you don't want to go too far behind the racket. I think someone like Nadal goes a little bit too far. I'm not saying it doesn't work for him, but for the average player, if you go that far behind the racket, then when you turn to a backhand volley, you either have to change the grip or put a lot of spin on that ball or manipulate the wrist to hit a flatter volley. So we don't want to be too extreme with the grip. Make sure you're right on top of the racket. You can shuffle it a little bit behind. That's going to help you to hit a strong forehand volley where your hand is behind the racket, but you'll still be able to hit a backhand volley without a grip change. All right, so when the ball comes our way, we're going to set the racket in a position where the wrist is strong and we've almost created a 90-degree angle between the racket and the forearm. It's probably closer to 110. I don't know if that's what it looks like to you, but it's not quite 90 degrees because that's pretty uncomfortable, but I'm holding it tight. That's about a 110-degree angle, right? We're going to keep that there throughout the entire stroke. It might move a little bit. I don't want to be too rigid, but roughly, we're going to keep that same position throughout. I'm also going to keep the same angle with my arm. My arm is going to stay the same angle throughout the entire shot. Now, different shots will require a different arm angle. If I'm stretched, my arm will be straighter, but it'll still stay consistent. If I'm in here, it'll stay consistent, but obviously it's going to be a little bit more bent. But it's this consistency of arm angle and wrist angle that is going to make the shot incredibly simple. I think there's quite a bit of misinformation that makes it difficult to execute the forehand volley that I'm demonstrating. One of them is volleying out in front. It sounds good going out there and getting it, but you're going to do this with your arm to go contact that ball out in front. Quite often you're going to use an Eastern grip if you start volleying too far out there, and you're not going to strike that ball clean, which kind of leads me to the second bit of misinformation, which is punching the volley. Now, in a way it's a punch. I'm going to explain why I think it's kind of like a punch, but I don't think this is what people are thinking about. Crikey, can we make more noise? So when we think about punching, we think about bending our arm here and extending it. A lot of people volley like this, and it really puts you in an uncomfortable position. You'll start being out in front. It's just not a good way to volley. You want to keep this arm consistent throughout the shot. But the way it is like a punch is, if I was to punch something, I want the strike to be in the middle of my action, right? So if I'm punching this, I want to punch through my target. So I want the contact point, in a comfortable spot, and I want to feel like the contact point, the strike, is in the middle of sort of my stroke. I can't think of words right now. Another thing that's really important when we're hitting forehand volleys is to make sure we're hitting slicers. It's going to be a simple motion. It's going to be structurally sound. It's going to keep everything in these same positions throughout the entire shot. You're having a laugh. But that spin is also going to allow you to control the tennis ball. Now, when the ball gets up high, you can hit it flat, but you still want to feel like it's a slice stroke where you flattened it out. You don't want to start turning these shots into things that look more like a topspin. So get used to spinning this ball. You'll be able to use all the court. You'll be able to land the ball short, keep it low, and again, you'll be able to keep this structure nice and sound throughout the entire shot. Now, obviously, I've made this video specifically about the arm position, the contact point, pretty much the upper body, right? If you want to know more about how to move as you're hitting a volley and the footwork patterns that are really going to help you to make adjustments, check out this video right here. Thanks for watching.